coronavirus appears to have eased some of the partisan divide on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers passed $2 trillion worth of relief in a matter of days. And on a more personal level, several are sick and working to recover from COVID-19. Miami Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart has the unenviable distinction of being the first member of Congress to test positive, and he's been in quarantine, just passing the 2-week mark. He is here with us via, I guess, phone or Skype. And first, Congressman, hello, good morning. How are you feeling?
Thank you. What a distinction, right, to be the first member of Congress. This is a nasty bug. So I am very blessed. I am doing so much better than others who also have this same virus. And so I count my blessings every single day, and I keep thinking of those who have lost loved ones, of those who are struggling, and my prayers and my thoughts are with them, actually.
How is the family? Are you with them? Are they there at home?
I have been alone for the last a little bit over 2 weeks. My wife, Tia, who you know, has, even though she's very healthy, she has pre-existing conditions, respiratory issues. So talking to her doctor and my doctor, Mario Almeida, who's a genius, he recommended that I quarantine myself after votes here in Washington. And it was a really good decision, because just a few days later, after I decided to self-quarantine as a precautionary measure, I'd come down with COVID.
Yeah. I just want to mention, you did not have to put on a jacket for us, but thank you very much. That was nice of you. I want to talk to you, Congressman, a little bit about the CARES Act. I don't know how you all come up with acronyms for the bills, but that was a good one. The Coronavirus Aid Relief Economic Security Act, $2.3 trillion. And you voted, it was a roll call vote. You voted and you were not in Washington, right?
I'm actually in Washington, but I can't leave my apartment.
Oh, you're quarantined in D.C.
I couldn't be there. That's correct. That's correct.
So talk to us a little bit about, I know everybody is just digesting the bill, and the Congressional Budget Office hasn't even broken it down yet, but I think what everybody is keying in on is the direct payments to Americans. First, is $2 trillion, that's a number you just really can't wrap your head around. Is it enough?
It is massive, Glenna. It really is massive. And let me just, a couple of words of warning. First place, there are going to be issues. We're going to find things that we don't like in this piece of legislation. Something this big, this massive, done this quickly, there are going to be mistakes made. But I think it's a vital piece of legislation. I'm very proud of it. The fact that we're helping those on the front line, and your interview just showed how important that is. Those who are, helping the infirm, helping the sick. We're helping individuals who have lost their jobs, and we're also helping businesses so that they don't lay people off, and so that the economy does not collapse. This is a massive piece of legislation. It has no precedent. And so I warn people, yeah, we're going to hear and read things later that, oh, I wish that was not in the bill. That's going to happen when you're dealing with something this massive. But I think it was important to err on the side of doing something big, doing something urgent, doing something that will have a real impact, and doing it as fast as possible. And that's what Congress, in a bipartisan way, put together in record time.
So the numbers you can break down into bite-sized pieces. The $525 billion are going to large businesses, $600 billion to small business. Business, we know just from speaking with people here who've lost their jobs, who've watched their hard work building a business just go away almost overnight. Practically speaking, how does that get to these businesses for what appears to be a short-term kind of get us through to where we can stabilize? But Congressman, without knowing when that stabilization comes, what is, practically speaking, what is going to happen over the next 2 weeks getting this money, using this money for the businesses?
You're right. I mean, that's a key point, because if it takes 6 months to get those funds out, and then frankly the bill fails to do what it's meant to do, which is why, even though there are some traditional government forms that the money's going to get out through, like for example the SBA, that may take a little. Look, if it's government, it's going to be less efficient. So what I keep telling folks is go to your bank. Small businesses that have bank relationships, the banks now are going to be able to get a lot of this money out. They're going to be able to do so, and we've also eliminated regulation and red tape in a way that has never been done before. So again, this has no precedent. It is being done in the most aggressive way to get the money out as quickly as possible in every way possible that we could think of, in a way to make sure that it has the effect immediately. And obviously, there's also going to be direct payments to individuals, folks who are, again, struggling to pay their rent, to pay their mortgages. And so that's going to be done directly in so many ways. It could be direct deposit if you have that, if you've dealt with the IRS electronically, for example. And so, again, when I said this has no precedent, this has never been done before, getting the money out exceedingly quickly, to doing it by removing obstacles, bureaucratic obstacles, red tape obstacles. And again, that's why this is a legislation that I'm exceedingly proud of. But I want to warn everyone again, we're going to hear and read about things that should have not happened. That's what happens when it's something this big, this innovative, breaking down barriers, and you do it so quickly. You're going to make mistakes. But I thought it was urgent, important to make sure that we help people immediately, those who are helping the infirmed, those individuals who are struggling because they've lost their jobs, those businesses who are trying to keep their employees but have, in essence, no income right now. That's why this legislation was so important. And I'm exceedingly proud of having it done so quickly in a bipartisan fashion, in particular in this day and age where things are so divided up in Washington.
Yeah, that was going to actually be one of my questions. It feels good, doesn't it? You know what, Congressman, before I let you go, something else that hasn't been done, when we were watching this roll call vote, there has never been a time when 435 members of Congress would possibly be called back to a room in a public health crisis where isolation is critical. Does this going on make you feel like we have to find a way for government to operate in the public with public participation, and yet with everyone in their own respective states?
Look, we're going to have to figure out a way to do that. I mean, after 9/11, there was a lot of studies as to how to deal with that kind of situation, what happens if the government is wiped out, et cetera. There's going to have to be now a total relook at how the voting process takes place. But here's the key. It has to be done constitutionally. I mean, I've heard a lot of different things about, well, should we just do it remotely through Skype, for example, right? The problem is the last thing you want is for a vote to take place and then it get challenged because of its, for example, on its constitutionality.
Of course.
And then the whole thing getting thrown out. These are serious matters. These require serious studies and serious thought. I know that's going to be taking place as soon as things calm down a little bit, because now we're dealing with this new reality. But again, it had to be done constitutionally. And as you know, there was one member who wanted to delay it for no real reason. But fortunately, we found a way around that, and we were able to pass this historic, very, very crucial bill for the American people, for the economy, for small and large businesses, for everyone, frankly.
Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, so great to have you here with us. You look good, and please do feel better.
Glenna, it's a nasty bug, so please, everyone, take it seriously, but we're going to beat this thing.
Thanks again.